It was a typical quiet afternoon in my suburban neighborhood. The sun was warm, casting golden rays over the neatly trimmed lawns and white picket fences. I had just finished my usual cup of chamomile tea, savoring the tranquility of the day. Life had settled into a predictable rhythm since my husband passed away 5 years ago. While I treasured the peace, there were days when the silence felt heavy. The knock on my door startled me. I wasn't expecting anyone. As I opened it, there stood Daniel, my next-door neighbor, looking more anxious than usual. Daniel was a charming man in his early 40s, with kind eyes and a confident demeanor. We'd always exchanged pleasantries, occasionally chatting about the weather or our shared appreciation for gardening. But this was the first time he'd come to my house unannounced. "Hi, Claire," he began, his voice soft but firm. "I hope I'm not bothering you." "Not at all," I replied, gesturing for him to come in. "What brings you here?" He hesitated, glancing over his shoulder as if ensuring no one else was watching. When he finally stepped inside, the look in his eyes shifted from casual to something far deeper. It was a mix of vulnerability and urgency that I couldn't ignore. "I need your help," he said, running a hand through his neatly trimmed hair. "It's something personal." I guided him to the couch, curiosity bubbling inside me. "Of course, Daniel. What's on your mind?" He sat, hands clasped together, and took a deep breath. "I know we don't know each other very well, but I've always admired your strength. You've built such a beautiful life, even after everything you've been through. And I could use someone like you in my corner." His words caught me off guard. What kind of favor could he possibly need from me? Daniel explained his predicament with a mix of apprehension and hope. He had a younger sister, Emily, who was struggling through a difficult divorce. Emily had always looked up to Daniel, relying on him for support, but this time, her situation required a nurturing presence. He believed that my life experience and wisdom could provide her with the guidance she needed. "She's fragile right now," Daniel admitted. "And I think hearing from someone who's been through hardship and come out stronger could really help her." It was an unusual request, but as Daniel spoke, I could sense how deeply he cared for his sister. There was something endearing about his vulnerability, the way he wasn't afraid to ask for help. "I'd be honored to meet her," I said, placing a reassuring hand on his. "If you think I can make a difference, I'll do what I can." The gratitude that lit up his face was enough to convince me I'd made the right decision. Over the next few days, we made arrangements for Emily to visit my home. In the meantime, Daniel and I grew closer. He began stopping by more often, sharing stories about his family, his work, and his dreams. I found myself looking forward to his visits in a way I hadn't felt in years. One evening, as we sat on my porch, sipping lemonade and watching the sunset, he looked at me with an intensity that made my heart skip a beat. "Claire," he began, his voice low. "I never expected this favor to bring us closer. But it's been nice, hasn't it?" I nodded, unsure of what to say. There was a warmth between us, something unspoken but undeniably present. Emily's visit turned out to be a turning point not just for her, but for me as well. She arrived at my home one afternoon, timid and unsure, but as we sat together and talked, I saw her confidence begin to bloom. We shared stories of resilience and hope, and by the time she left, I felt as though I'd gained a friend, but it was Daniel's reaction that truly stayed with me. When he came by to check on Emily, his gratitude was evident. He hugged me tightly, lingering just a moment longer than necessary. "Thank you, Claire," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You've done more for Emily than I ever could have imagined. And you've done something for me too." That evening, as we shared a quiet dinner in my dining room, Daniel opened up in a way he hadn't before. He confessed that his visits hadn't been just about Emily, they'd been about the connection he felt with me. I never thought I'd feel this way again, he admitted, his eyes searching mine. But you've reminded me that it's never too late to find happiness. I was stunned, but as I looked into his eyes, I realized I felt the same. The moments we'd shared, the laughter, the quiet conversations, had awakened something in me